Press conference this afternoon. Usually a press conference is to announce a new coach or some big news. This is not big news anymore because it's been known for the last few days, but we do appreciate you coming out to meet Danny Manning, our new basketball coach, and we are thrilled to have him on our staff and as a part of the Wake Forest family. We all know about Danny Manning's career. One of the greatest college basketball players ever, the College Basketball Player of the Year, won a national championship, and regarded in Kansas basketball history as probably the greatest player ever played there, in that he was still the leading scorer in Kansas history and the leading rebounder in Kansas's history. So that tells you something about the player. Went on to a great NBA career as well. But you want to know something that has nothing to do with the reason we hired Danny Manning as our basketball coach at Wake Forest. We hired Danny Manning as our basketball coach at Wake Forest because of everything that everybody said about him. The type of person he is, the type of coach that he is, the job that he did at Tulsa are the reasons that we hired Danny Manning to be our head basketball coach at Wake Forest University. He has the pedigree for certain. You talk with Bill Self, you talk with Larry Brown, they all say the same thing about him. Larry Brown said that he was the big man coach as a player at Kansas. That tells you something about what his track record and career path was going to be. Bill Self says similar things about his coaching acumen. We've got one heck of a basketball coach. One of the factors that really attracted me to Danny was that his team started out 1-6 this year. And they ended up winning the last 11 games of their season. And when I was talking with Danny about, you started out 1-6, what did you do differently that turned that team around? And he said, nothing. We didn't do anything differently. We just believed in the system that we had. We worked a little bit harder, and everyone came along and started to understand what this system was about and what our beliefs were about. And that played out into a great season at Tulsa this year. So we are thrilled to have Danny as our new head basketball coach. We are really happy to have his family with us today, his wife Julie, his daughter Taylor, and his son Evan. So welcome to the entire Manning family, and please welcome our head basketball coach, Danny Manning.
First of all, I'd like to, let me get this adjusted. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out. I'd also like to thank Mr. Wellman and President Hatch for giving me this wonderful opportunity to become a part of the Wake Forest family. I'm very fond of Wake. I grew up in Greensboro, and Greensboro Coliseum was the home court for the Demon Deacons for a lot of years. And I remember watching a lot of Coach Tacey's teams. And it was a lot of fun, and I'm just very fortunate and very blessed. I look at the rich tradition in basketball. When you talk about, I mentioned Coach Tacey, but you go back to Bones McKinney, who coached here, who led Wake to their first Final Four and only Final Four, and you jump to Coach Odom, who had a great run, winning 2 ACC championships, and then you talk about Skip Prosser. How he affected so many people with his positive and great spirit. So I'm very honored to be following those great men and great coaches, and I'm going to do my best to live up to the standards that they've set for this university. And you talk about the coaches, but you also have to talk about the players. And a long list of very, very talented players. I had a chance when I came a little bit earlier to spend time with one of them, who's in the back now. He had a little bit more hair back then and Skip, but the list goes on. You talk about Lynn Chappell. I grew up watching Rod Griffin, the guy who just got things done. I played with Danny Young. I competed against Delaney Rudd. And one of my all-time favorites growing up was Anthony Tichy. But the list goes on. You talk about Rodney Rogers, Randolph Childress, Jim Johnstone. And so I am very, very happy to be a part of this, and looking forward to establishing our new foundation for Wake Forest basketball. And our foundation will be built on sacrifice for one another. I believe what's good for you is good for the team. It will be built upon hard work and spare no effort. And I think those are the things that we will work hard to have each and every day that we come into the gym. You know, success is defined in a lot of different ways, but you can't have it unless you have a good foundation and good base. And I know being here, I know how involved and passionate Mr. Wellman is about this university. He shared that with me, and all the people I've come in contact with in my short amount of time here been very impressive. And I'm excited. I'm looking forward to many, many bright days ahead. And I understand that it's a journey. I've been very fortunate and very blessed to have been around this game for a very long time. And you know, I think I have a few stories and things that I can share with the young men on our team to help them along in their journey. But, you know, for me as a coach, wins and losses are extremely important. But also making sure that I help prepare these young people and young men that I come in contact with each and every day to be the best person that they can be. And at the end of the day, my title is a coach, but I'm a teacher. And I want to teach life skills along with basketball skills. I win a lot of games along the way and have a lot of young men graduate and move on to bigger and better things. Having said that, I need to make sure that I definitely thank my family for all their support and for their guidance. Julie's been with me every step of the way. I lugged her all across the country, and I appreciate and you know, obviously love her and her support that she gives me. And to my little ones that aren't so little anymore, but they'll always be little to me, Taylor and Evan, thank you very much for coming out. It means the world to me, and you know I love you and very proud of you. You know, having said that, have any questions? Yes.
Coach, how did the meeting with players go just now? What were they most excited about, and what were some of their fears? Obviously, next year it will be a veteran team, and these are guys you didn't recruit. Yes.
Well, you know, just an initial meeting, to be honest with you. You shake hands, you introduce yourself. We had a little pizza, and you know, I talked with some of the different guys, and looking forward to getting to know them. I mean, we're just building our relationships. You know, I touched base with all of them once I accepted the job, and I'll continue to build our relationship. But you know, it's something that is definitely in the beginning stages. But I feel very comfortable with all the guys. Hopefully, they feel comfortable with me, and you know, I just have to continue to develop, and they know that. You know, I want to get to know them on all levels. I need to know them as a young man. I need to know them as players, and that's what we're definitely working on right now. Yes.
Kenny, this has been a tough 4 years for Wake Forest basketball. What can you tell the fans? What are you going to do to turn that around and get you where you want to be?
Well, I think for us, we're going to come in. We're going to be an up-tempo team. We want to be aggressive. Offensively and defensively, we want to create energy. And you know, the way that we played at Tulsa, the way that part of the staff at Kansas, defensively, we're going to hang our hat on the defensive side of the ball. We're going to make sure that we go out and we compete defensively. We're going to contest every pass. We're going to try to contest every shot, and we don't want to give up any unearned or easy buckets. And I think that's the first thing that we have to establish. And then offensively, we want to be in attack mode. I believe in paint touches. And, you know, you get the ball into the paint either by the bounce or by the pass, but I think once you're able to do that, you break down the defense, and it gives you a chance to be a little bit more successful on the offensive end. But we want to be in attack mode, and that's kind of how I envision it, and that's how I'm going to teach it. And, you know, I'm excited to get to work with the guys.
You grew up watching ACC basketball, but this is not ACC basketball you grew up watching, Danny. How does the expansion, the arrival of teams such as Syracuse, Louisville, complicate what you're trying to do here?
It's made a great league even better. You know, I go back to Jefferson Pilot days watching ACC basketball. So this is super competitive. Yes, it is expanded, but for us, nothing changes. I mean, we're going to go out. We want to compete. We want to compete from day one, and that will always be the goal. You go out there and you do whatever you can to help your team be successful. And that's kind of how the system that we will implement here is built. If you start, great. If you come in off the bench, great. But if you're helping our team be successful, you're going to play. And if you're not, you won't play, and that's just how it is. And I think that's a fun system to play in because guys know that if I'm out there and I'm making a positive contribution to my team, I'm going to get extended minutes.
There's pretty young teams at Tulsa, and this is a team, a program that's slowly got a little bit better each year. When you come into a situation like that, do you feel like you should mix well with them and the growth that they've shown, or do they have to adjust to you? Is a little bit of both? Maybe?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I think, their adjustment to me would be my terminology, because every coach, wants the same thing. That you play hard, that you pay attention, that you carry yourself the right way. So I think, one of the biggest things will be them understanding our terminology. And our terminology is, it's fairly simple, but it's something different for them. And so I'm excited about this team. Last year played in a lot of overtime games. The scoring margin was pretty small for the season in terms of difference, points for, points against. And I just believe that the pieces are in place. I believe that the first couple years, with this, you're talking about this soon-to-be junior class, they've kind of gone through their hardship, so to speak, and kind of gotten a taste for what it's like to be in this conference and play against this type of competition. And I feel, and I believe they feel, that they're ready for a breakout year.
Coach, how's the process going for you as you try to assemble the new staff?
Well, it's a process, to be honest with you. The Final Four is not the place you want to be when you take a job and you got job openings, because there are a lot of people that are trying to get your attention, so to speak. So it's nice to kind of be away from it and conduct my phone interviews and talk to people and do my research and things like that. It's going well. I'm not in a huge hurry, but I have been fortunate enough to have a lot of people that have interest in wanting to come here and be a part of this.
Do you anticipate some of your staff from Tulsa joining you?
I do, but we'll see. The exact number. I don't know. I think a lot of it's just going to be determined by being here for a few days and kind of deciding what we need and looking for in terms of a staff, and also putting together a group that can go out and recruit. That's the name of the game. You got to go out and you got to get players that fit your system, fit your profile, and fit your university.
What's your philosophy about the current assistants here at Wake Forest?
They're all, I've heard and know a lot about a lot of them, and the next day or two I'll have a chance to visit with those guys and kind of go from there.
Well, you spent your formative years here, but you've been away for quite some time, and you've traveled the world, of course. Did you ever see yourself coming back to this area, and how does it feel to be back? Does it feel like a homecoming?
It feels great to be back. I woke up this morning and got a text from one of my old high school teammates, and he was talking about when we played Reynolds High School, we were warming up for the game, and Coach Tacey's on the baseline doing his recruiting deal as a player. And I told my friend, I said, you got a great memory, but that was the story he told me. So, I'm excited. I had a chance to come back professionally, and it was always nice to just see everything and bump into a lot of friends. And I've reached out to a lot of friends have reached out to me, and I'm excited to be back and to be in this area. But to answer your question, I was a professional basketball player for 15 years, very blessed and fortunate to do that. And I got traded quite a bit, so wherever you go is where you go professionally. But to be able to make a decision to come back to this area, North Carolina, where basketball is so special, Tobacco Road, I've lived it, I've been a part of it, and thanks to my late father, it's in my blood, and I'm thrilled to be back.
What did you learn from Coach Brown, and what did you learn from Coach Self?
We don't have enough time. I played for Coach Brown, and Coach Brown has given me a lot of inspiration. Coach Brown made me a better person. He made me a better basketball player. We won some games. I graduated. I met my wife, and it was all that I could ask for playing for him. Now, he's a tough dude to play for now because he challenges you every day. And that's something that I'm going to do here. But Coach Brown is someone that's had a profound impact on my life from the day that I started playing for him at Kansas. So, Coach Self. Coach Self and I, we go way back. My freshman year was his senior year, so I actually competed against him when he was at Oklahoma State. And he came on staff at Kansas when I was a player there as well after he finished. And we've maintained a good relationship throughout my professional career. And then when I retired, he offered me a spot on the staff as Director of Student Athlete Development / team manager. And it gave me a chance to see everything from the ground up. You know, I did everything that my title warranted that I do. And it was something for me that I needed to see if I wanted to be involved in this game at this level. And I'm very fortunate for that opportunity. And then I was able to work myself up to an assistant coach, and I had a lot of fun, and I learned a lot, not only from Coach Self, but his staff, all the guys that he had working with him. Those guys were an open book for me and really helped me progress in my coaching career. Coach Self is someone that defensively, his teams leave their mark on you defensively. And that's probably where the biggest influence with him. And his people skills, how he relates to his players, the communication level that he has. You know, he always, I refer to it as a bank account with your players. And you have to have more deposits than withdrawals, because your withdrawals will be pretty big from time to time when you're getting onto your guys. But as long as they know you care for them and you love them, they'll be willing to go out there and put in the work.
Coach, man, you talk about the history of Wake Forest, the Bones McKinney's, Carl Stacey's, Coach Odom's, and Coach Prosser's, and with each of those, they built a certain culture of Wake Forest basketball. That culture brought on its identity. What will the culture and identity under you become at Wake Forest?
Well, first and foremost, we're in the education business. We want to make sure we educate our young men. This is a wonderful university. When you leave here, you'll be prepared for life. And that's something that we're going to sell recruiting-wise, the education that you get here. And in basketball, you know, the things that we're going to talk about and expect from our young men are things that they're going to have to adapt to in life. It's kind of a microcosm, you know, working within a group, going out and understanding strategy or sacrificing for the whole. I mean, all these things go into being a successful person away from the court. So our culture is going to be, I'd rather give you a mission statement. I'll tell you, our mission statement will be, we're going to be a physically and mentally tough team that pays strict attention to detail. We think next play, and we're constantly in a state of becoming. And that is, you know, going to be our culture, and that runs along the lines with all those other great coaches that have been here and what they've done here at this university.
Who was the high school teammate that texted you? And as a former players that have coached, I mean, obviously Kevin Ollie won a title last night. There aren't as many guys that were star players. Did you think the game differently than maybe a typical star, just with your background, maybe think it as a coach?
Well, the person that texted me, his name was John Newman. And John Newman played at James Madison University. And so we've stayed in contact throughout the years. You know, I think my path, everybody's path is different and unique for whatever reasons, but for me, I kind of had to reinvent myself as a player. You know, I blew my knee out 3 times on the professional level. And the first time that I blew it out in 1989, it was considered career threatening. And you know, so I'm going through that process, and will I be able to move good as I was moving before? I don't know. And so, you know, for me, I had to figure out different ways to gain an advantage, gain an edge. And so going out and figuring out, okay, if I'm guarding this particular player, what does he do well? What can I take away? When he shoots his jump shot, what's his foot placement? When he jab steps and he goes right, I mean, does he go all the way to the basket, or does he shoot a step back jumper, or does he shoot a pull-up? So I became a student of the game in terms of studying, because I felt that gave me an edge in my mind. I think it gave me a sense of, okay, my anticipation is going to be a little bit better. That means I'm going to be a little bit quicker. I'm not saying it worked, but mentally for me, it did the trick. And you know, that's one thing that I feel like I can relate to any player on our team. I've been fortunate and blessed enough to be a starter, a role guy, a sixth man in the rotation, not in the rotation, injured, on the injured list, not play. I've experienced all those roles. And I might not know exactly how each individual is feeling, but I've got a pretty good idea. And I think that's also helped me in adopting and making my philosophy as a head coach.
Have you had an opportunity to speak with any of the 2014 signings?
Yes, I've reached out and in contact with one of them for sure, and leaving messages for the other ones. And just trying to track them down and go from there. Our recruiting period kicks back up pretty soon, and it's going to be my first couple stops is making sure I go and I visit with those young men and let them know that I want them to know that they're wanted here at Wake Forest. I want them to know that I want to coach them. I want them to be a part of our university. I want them to be a part of our program, and I want to help them in their development as a player and as a young man.
Danny, the student body and probably the fan base has some sort of party planned outside here. It's been a while since basketball created the atmosphere here. Are you aware of the mood here the last few years, and maybe what your plan is to bring it back up?
I'm not that aware of it. I mean, I've got an idea, but I can't control what happened in the past. I can just look forward and go from here, and I'm excited. And I'm going to come in here every day and put forth a great effort to help our team get better each and every day. And that's going to be demanded from everyone on our staff, everyone on our team, everyone involved with our program. We have aspirations of being a championship team. We want to cut down nets, and we got to put forth the work to put ourselves in that situation. And it's not going to be easy, but I'm willing to roll up my sleeves and let's go get it.
We got time for one more question.
Coach, coming into a league with at least 4 bona fide Hall of Fame coaches, you're coming to a different ACC that we grew up watching, I know.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel to put your name up there against those guys and the determination that you sure feel that you want to edge your name up there and go against those guys night in, night out in the league play?
Well, it's our name. It's our brand. It's who we are. And we're going to go out there and we're going to we're going to go toe to toe. And we're coming out and we're throwing blows, and we're going to continue to throw blows. And, we're going to take some knocks along the way, but we're going to fight, we're going to scrap. And at the end of the day, I think if we put forth the effort necessary and continue to develop and get better as we move along, hopefully there'll be a lot of teams that don't want to see us.